Okay, let's start. Uh, Today I'll be doing time and work. Okay, if you think I'm going fast, you just comment full stop. I'll try to go slow at a time. Okay, you can slow me down. Usually, I used to teach a bit fast, so you can slow me down by sending me a full stop in your comment section so that we can cope up with one another. I'll try to give you three approach when we do time and work. So before going to in much detail, I'll just give you a concept. Uh, Most of the time, in your question, uh, total work will not be specified. So in that case, what we do is we consider total work as one. Okay, that means all the works that needs to be done, we assume it as one. And 1 day work of any person, we assume it as one divided by alone time. What is this then? I'll try to explain this now. Let's say A alone can finish a work in 5 days. Then 1 day work, 1 day work of A. That means how much A can do in 1 day is nothing but reciprocal of this one by 5. Okay, which simply means in 1 day A can do 1/5 of the total work. Are we clear with this? So that keep that in mind. Which means 1 day work 1 day work of any person is nothing but 1 divided by alone time, which simply means if A can do can complete a work in 5 days, then 1 day work, or in 1 day A can do 1/5 of that work. I'll explain in more details when we do questions, which simply means reciprocal of 1 day of work gives alone time. So let's say, for example, our in your question, uh, 1 day work, 1 day work, let's say 1 day work of A is, let's let's assume that 1 day work of A is 1/20. Then this simply means that A can complete that work in 20 days. Reciprocal of this one will give you the total number of days required by A to finish that work. So these two are opposite to each other. First was, if A can complete a work in 5 days, then 1 day work is nothing but 1/5. And the other way is, in 1 day A can do 1/20 of the work, then in 20 days A can finish that work. So that's a concept that you need to keep in mind. I'll start with a simple question. So this is a formula based. I'll teach you three ways to solve. One will be formula based, and the other one is the one that we have done here, basic concept or conceptual, and the other one is I'll give you logical. So those are the three ways that I'm gonna teach you. So for me, I prefer this logical one. Why? Because most of the time I used to appear time bound exam, so I'm used to this one, logical. If you can follow me in logical way, that's good, because most of the question without any formula we can do it easily. But if you are following by formula method, I'll give you a formula explanation of this. Formula number one is this: if A can do a piece of work or can complete a work in X days, and B can complete the same work in Y days, then what will happen is that if both of them work together, they can finish in these days. This is a formula. So if we are to go by formula approach, we need to memorize this. This is a must to memorize. Another one is, if A, B, and C, they can complete their work in X, Y, and Z, which means A can finish that work in X days, and B can finish the work in Y days, and C can finish the same work in Z days, then what will happen is that if all of them work together, then they can finish in these days. So this is a formula that you need to memorize if you are going by formula approach. If not, let's start this one. This is type number one, okay? Type number one on in time and work. So the question says, if A can do a piece of work in 6 days, that means A can do a piece of work in, that means A can complete a work in 6 days, and that same work B can complete it in 9 days. B can complete in 9 days. So we are asked to find how many days will it take to complete the whole work if they work together. If A and B works together, then how many days will they take to finish the work? The same work, okay? So I'll start with the basic approach. Basic approach, we have learned that if A can finish in 6 days, then 1 day work. 1 day work is nothing but 1 day work of A is nothing but reciprocal of this 1 by 6. The first basic formula one. If A can finish a work in 6 days, then 1 day work of A is nothing but reciprocal of that, which means 1 by 6. Same thing goes for B. 1 day work of B is nothing but reciprocal of this one, which is 1 by 9. Which means B can finish a work in 9 days. So 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 9. We are asked to find if both of them works together. That means if A and B work together, then 1 day work will be, in 1 day A can do this much work, so which means in 1 day A can do 1 by 6 work, and in 1 day B can do this much work. So in 1 day, if A and B works together, then they can finish 1 by 6 plus 1 by 9, which means in 1 day A can do this part of the work, and same thing B can do this part of the work. So which means if both of them works together, then how much can they work? They can finish, I'll just write it here, I'll find the LCM. LCM of 6 and 9 is 18. If you don't know how to find LCM, LCM simply means 6 and 9 you use this one, and you start with any number, but I'll start with 3. 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. So if you multiply this one, 3 into 2 into 1 into 3, which means 3 2s are 6, 6 3s are 18. So our LCM here is 18. So 6 times, how much is the LCM? So 6 times 6 multiplied with what will give you the LCM? 6 times 3. So I'll write 3 here. And 9 times, how much is the LCM? 9 times 2. So I'll write 2 here. This is what we have now. So which will give me 3 plus 2 is 5 divided by 18. So now, if A and B works together, then what will happen is that in 1 day they can finish this one. And we have learned from earlier that from this one, if A can do this much work in 1 day, then reciprocal of that one will be the total days required. So I'll do the same thing here. This 5 by 18 is nothing but 1 day work of A and B working together, which means reciprocal of this one will give me the answer. So total days required will be nothing but reciprocal of this one, which is 18 divided by 5. Reciprocal of this one, that means you just flip this one, 18 divided by 5. So every time, most of the time, in your option, you may not see this one. You will see your answer in terms of mixed fraction. How do we convert it to mixed fraction then? Mixed fraction simply means you bring the numerator here and divide it by the denominator. 5 into how much is nearby 18? 5 3s are 15, which means the answer is 3. So this one you write it here, and the answer you write it in the numerator, this one. So which means 3 days, 3 by 5 hours. That's what you can say. Are we clear with this concept? Are you guys following? You can give me a thumbs up if you're following. Yes. Okay. Then I'll give you another approach now. That's basic. That is basic approach. Okay. Now, if you are going by formula approach, formula approach is this one. We have formula was x y divided by x plus y. This is formula approach. The way it stays. So according to the formula, for me x here is 6. So which means A can do it in 6 days. So which means I'll just directly write it down here. Okay. My x is nothing but this one, and my y is nothing but this one. So if I put the value here, I'll get the answer directly. So x is 6 and y is how much? 9 divided by 6 plus 9. So uh, 6 into 9 divided by 6 plus 9 is 15. So 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are 15. So 9 2s are 18 divided by 5 days, which simply means the it's similar with the earlier one. 3 days, 5 uh, uh, 3 by 5 days. Okay, 3 by 5 days. That's the answer. Obviously this one is much more easier. Okay, just that you need to memorize formula. Okay, with this, next is I'll give you a logical approach now. Logical approach is this way. Why I like this method is, whether it be any type of question, we can do it directly, easily. Okay, so we have A here, we have B here. A can do it in 6 days, B can do it in 9 days. So now this is A and this is B. So what I'll do is, I'll find the LCM of these two. Earlier I got it as 18, so directly I'll use, okay, this one. So always remember, when you are solving by logical approach, this is nothing but, this is total work. Okay, that means the work that needs to be done, and you find a relation between this one. 6 times 6 times how much is this one? 6 times 3 is 18. 9 times how much is 18? 9 times 2. So this 3 is nothing but, we call it efficiency. Efficiency simply means how much A can do in a day. Okay, and this 2 is nothing but, again, this is also efficiency, but efficiency of who? B. That means this 2 is nothing but how much B can do, how much work B can do in a day. That means that is the efficiency of B. Now by this one, we can understand that in a day A can do 3 pieces of work and B can do 2 pieces of work in a day. Okay, in one day. Now if A and B works together, then there will be 3 plus 2, which is 5. Now A and B working together in a day, they can do this much work, but how many what is the total work that needs to be done? There is a total of 18 works that needs to be done, and if A and B works together, then they can finish it in they can do 5 pieces of work in a day. So if you divide this 2, then you will get the same thing here, 3 by 5 days. So that is logical approach. Any doubts here in this question? So I'll try to teach all the 3 ways in every question. Okay, let's see how long will it take. That is number 1. And number 2 is together we can finish a piece of work. I'll try one more question. After that, I'll go to type number 2. If a man can finish a work in 12 days, that means A can finish a work in 12 days, and B and C in 15 and 20 days. That means we are talking about 3% now. So A can do it to complete a work in 12 days, and B can complete a work in how many days? 15 days, and C can complete a work in how much? 20 days. This is what we have. Now, in how many days can they finish the work if they work? Okay, we are asked to find if they work together, then how long will it take? I'll go by basic approach first. So by basic approach, 1 day work, 1 day work, 1 day work of A is nothing but 1 by 12, and 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 15, and 1 day work of C is nothing but 1 by 20. Let's find it. 1 day work of A, B, and C together. Okay, 1 day work of A, B, and C together. So A, B, and C together is 1 by 12 plus 1 by 15 plus 1 by 20. This is what we have. Now what do we need to do? We need to find the LCM. Okay, so LCM of 12, 15, and 20, it will be 60, but I'll show you how to solve. So now the LCM of this one is, I'll go by 4. I'll go by 2. Yeah, okay. 60 will be too long, so I'll go by 4. 4 3s are 12, 15, 4 5s are 20. So I'll go by 3. 3 1s are 3, 3 5s are 15, and 5 down here. So 5 1s are 5, 5 1s are 5. So if you multiply 4 into 3 into 5, then 4 5s are 20, 20 into 3 is 60. So our LCM here is nothing but 60. So I'll write 60 here. Our LCM is 60. The next thing is, we have 12 in the denominator. 12 times how much is 60? 12 times 5 is 60. Plus 15 times how much is 60? 15 times 4 is 60. 15 times 4 is 60. Plus 20 times how much is 60? 20 times 3. This is what we have. Now next, I'll just add them up, which is equal to 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, and 60. I can reduce here, so which means 12 ones are 12, 12 fives are. So I'm getting 1 by 5. So what is this 1 by 5? This 1 by 5 is nothing but 1 day work of A, B, and C. So if I reciprocal this, then that will be the number of days required for A, B, and C to finish the work. So which means if I reciprocal this, therefore I'll just write days required is nothing but 5 days, because reciprocal of 1 by 5 is nothing but 5 by 1, which simply means 5 days. Clear with this? Yeah, that's by basic approach. I'll give you by formula approach directly. Formula approach is this one. Again, I'll give you a longer. We have it here. When we talk about 3%, the formula is xyz divided by xy plus yz plus dx. So this one, our calculation may be very lengthy, okay, in this case. So what I'll do is I'll leave it for you, this one, formula approach. But I'll tell you which one is x, which one is y, and which one is z. We have only 3 values, so you can name any of them as x, and any of them as y and z. I'll give this one as x, y, and z. So you try this one after we are done with the class. So I'll leave that for you for formula approach. Just in place of the form, I'll just write formula for you. If you are wondering what's the formula, the formula is x, y, and z divided by x, y plus yz plus zx. This is what we have. This is a formula. So if you put the value, then you will get the answer by this. Next, I'll give you by shortcut approach here. What is by shortcut approach? I'll just directly use an equation here. A, B, and C. Logical approach is 12, 15, and 20. I'll zoom it here. So now A can complete a work in 12 days, B can complete a work in 15 days, C can complete the same work in 20 days. So the LCM of this one, we have seen earlier that the LCM is nothing but 60. So this is the LCM, and we know that this LCM is nothing but total work. This is the total work. Now 12 times how much is 60? 12 times 5. 15 times how much? 15 times how much is 60? 15 times 4. 20 times how much is 60? 20 times 3. We are asked to find if A, B, and C works together. That means I'll just find in one day A can do 5 pieces of work, and in one day B can do 4 pieces of work, and in one day C can do 3 pieces of work. So if all of them work together, that means 5 plus 4 plus 3, then we are getting it as, which is 12. Now if all of them work together, then we are getting they can do 12 pieces of work in a day. But how much do we have? We have a total work of 60 to be done, But in a day, they can finish 12 pieces of work. So which means our answer is 5. So 5 days is the answer. That's it, type number 1. Any doubts regarding this question? You can raise up and you can ask me question regarding based on this. If you're done, we'll move on to the next question. Any doubts you want me to re-explain? Okay, then we'll move on. If you don't have any doubts, we'll go to type number 2. Type number 2 is this. Two person, A and B, working together can complete a work in this one. So in this case, you will be given two persons can complete a work in some number of days, and one of them can complete a work in some number of days. Then in that case, you also find how long will the other one takes to complete the work. So this one you can understand better when we do question. So I'll start with the question. At the time you can understand better. So I'll start with this question. So the question is, Ram and Sham together can finish a work in 5 days. That means we have Ram, we have Sham. They can finish a work in 5 days. That means Ram and Sham together, they can finish it in 5 days. That means they can complete the work in 5 days. And next part is Ram alone can complete the work in 8 days. That means it is given that again Ram alone can finish the same work in 8 days. So if I am to go by formula approach, the formula is this one: x y divided by x minus y. So the trick is this one. Always remember, the greater number you take it as x, okay, and this will be y. Now 5 into 8 divided by 8 minus 5. So what do we have here? If I 8 into 5 is 40 divided by which is 3. So if I make this one the mixed fraction, 40 divided by 3, 3 ones are 3, 3 ones are, or I can directly go, okay, 3 ones are 3, that means 10 here, 3 threes are 9, that means 1 here. So I have 13 1 by 3 days as my answer. That is by formula approach. Okay, now I'll go by basic approach. Basic approach is this: 1 day work, 1 day work of R and S together is 1 day work, okay, is reciprocal of this one, 1 by 5. And 1 day work of R alone is how much? R alone is 1 by 8. So now let's find 1 day work of 1 day work of Sham, okay, SHM Sham. So now 1 day work of R and S together is this one, and 1 day work of R is this one. So all total they can do 1 by 5 work in a day. Ram and Sham together they can finish 1 by 5 work. Then 1 day work of R is how much? 1 day work of Sham is how much? From the total, if I subtract Ram's work, then I will get the total, which is the LCM of 5 and 8 is 40, and 8, 5 times 8 and 5, which means I have 3 by 40 as the 1 day work of Sham. 1 day work of Sham. And we know that total days required for Sham is nothing but reciprocal of this one, which is 40 divided by 3, which is nothing but 13, 1 by 3 day. So that is by the basic approach. So now in NPSC, what they do is most of the time they ask question based on this concept, okay. if you look through, you will see most of the question based on this concept. We'll try to do one or two questions based on this concept, uh, which is not that hard. Now, if I am to go by logical approach is this: R R and S can finish, Ram and Sham can finish it in 5 days, and Ram alone can finish it in 8 days. We know that the LCM of this two is nothing but 40. So 5 times how much is 40? 5 times 8 is 40, and 8 times how much is 45? So now, since this is a logical approach, you need to bring up a logical conclusion. Okay, you'll have to bring up a logical conclusion. In one day, if both of them can do this much work, and this person alone in one day can finish this work, which simply means Ram and Sham together can finish this one, and Ram alone can finish 5, which means Sham can finish only 3 pieces of work in a day, or Sham can do only 3 pieces of work in a day. Why? Because together they can finish 8 pieces of work, and Ram alone can finish 5 pieces of work, which means the remaining, which is 3, is the work that is being done by Sham in one day. So in that case, we have a total of 40 works to be done, and Sham can do only 3 pieces of work in a day, which means he can finish in 13 1 by 3 day. That's the answer. Any doubts here in this question? If you have, you can ask. If not, we'll move on. Clear? Yes. Shall I move on? Okay. Where was the question? BYQ. Yeah, yeah. There's a BYQ here, which is based on this one. Okay. A and B working together can finish a piece of work in 4 days. Uh, we are talking about A and B. They can finish a piece of work in 4 days, and A alone can can do that work in 6 days. We are also find B alone can complete the work in how many days? This is NPSC prelims 2018. Okay. So now I'll just write what we have written earlier. A and B together can finish a work in 4 days, and A alone can finish a work in 6 days. So if we are to go by this logical approach, A plus B, or let me just go by the formula approach first, or formula. Yeah, let's go by formula approach. By formula approach, I'll use this one as X and this one is Y. So by the formula, what do we have? X, Y divided by X minus Y. So what is X here? X is 6. What is Y here? Y is 4, and divided by 6 minus 4, which is 6 into 4 divided by 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 2s are 4, 6 2s are 12. So which is nothing but 12 days. So that was the question asked. So if you are to do by basic concept, you reciprocal it 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6, which means you will get how much is it? 6 and 4 LCM is 12, and you will have, there's 4 into how much? 4 into 3. Did I miss something here? 1 by 6, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6. So the LCM is 12. So 4 times 3. Oh, it is subtraction, right? It is not addition. 1 by 4 is nothing but the total work, 1 day work of A and B together, and 1 by 6 is nothing but the total work of A alone. So I need to subtract this one and 2, which means I'll get 1 by 12. So reciprocal of this one will be the day required. Reciprocal of 1 by 12 is nothing but 12 day. By that way also you can get your answer easily. So any doubts here in this question? Clear with this? Okay, then I'll move on. Okay, let's talk about 3% now. Yes, we have done about P and Q together complete with Q and R. This is type number. Okay. Okay, I'll discuss one thing here. Next formula is this one, okay? For this question, I'll be using this formula. Here, you'll be given 2 to each. A and B together can finish a work in X days. B and C together can finish the same work in Y days. And again, C and A together can finish the same work in Z days. Then the formula will be 2 times of XYZ divided by this one, XY plus YZ plus ZX. So it's easy to remember, okay? Not much complicated. Just that there is something extra here. 2 is the extra here. I'll try to explain why 2 here when we are doing basic approach, okay? At that time I'll explain this. But first I'll do it with formula approach. I'll do the question which was asked in 2019, okay? In 2019 NPSC prelims, this question was asked. If P and Q together, that means P and Q together can complete a job in 20 days, and Q and R together can complete a work in 30 days, then again we are given that R and P can complete the same work in 24 days. What was the formula that we have? We have a formula that the formula was formula approach, okay? By formula approach, the formula was 2 times of x, y, z divided by, you take 2 to each, starting from x, y plus, next is y, z plus, next is zx. It's an easy formula to memorize. So this formula is applicable only when two group of people are given, which means PQ is given 2 together and another two. That means 3 groups of people are given. Then in that case we use this formula. So by formula approach, the disadvantage for this one is that you will have a lengthy calculation. As of now, I'll just try and show you, and I'll go by basic approach as well. Now 2 times of, I'll assume this one is x, this one is y, and this one is z. Okay, that's what I'll do. 2 into x into y into z is nothing but xy. That means x y plus, next is y z plus, next is what is it, zx, right? So which means 24 into 20. These are the different groups here. Now what I'll do is, in order to reduce calculation, I'll just give my numerator as it is. So which means my numerator is still 2 into 20 into 30 into 24. I won't multiply because I want to save time in exam. So now 2 3s are 6. That means 20 into 30 will give me 600 plus 3 4s are 12, 2 1 and 10, 3 2s are 6 7. I'm just multiplying, okay? Next is 24 into 2 is 48 and 0. This is what I have. Now I'll sum the denominator first, okay? So what will happen is that still I have 20 in, 2 into 20 into 30 into 24 divided by, if I sum all the 3 terms, I'll have 600. I'll just write it here, 600 plus 720 plus 480. That means 0 0 1. That means 10 17 18. I'm getting 1800. This is what I'm getting if I sum all the denominator. Now I'll try to cut. 0 0 will get cancel each other, another 0 and another 0. And next what I can do is 3 6 are 18, and 6 times how much is 24? 6 times 4 is 24. Now what is left? We are left with 2 into 2 into 4. So 2 2s are 4, 4 4s are 16. Our answer here is 16 days. So which is our option number B, which is 16 days. Are we clear with this? Formula based? Any doubts here? Okay. Yeah, that type is done. Actually, the PDF that I'm giving you out, there will be some extra questions, okay? You try those questions, and if you have doubts on those questions, you can ask me in the doubts group, and you can screenshot it, you send it to the group, and I'll explain those questions in next class session. So likewise, I can help you that way only. So you can send your doubts, and if you are practicing at home, or if you are practicing from any source, if you face any difficulties in any topic, you can ask me in the group. I can explain that. If we are not done with the topic, then obviously it will be a bit hard for me to explain, but I'll try to explain. Next, let's go to type number 3. Okay, we call it man work hour related problem. So in 2014 it was asked based on this topic. So this one is uh, one thing you need to remember is this formula is applicable only when we are comparing two groups of people. That means it can be comparing between men and women, or it can be comparing between different numbers of people. That means, let's say there are 15 men can finish this much work in this much number of days. Then two men can finish how long will two men take to finish that work, like that. When we compare two groups of people, in that case we use this. So the formula here, M represents the number of men, and T represents the number of days required to finish the work, and H represents the number of hours. Number of hours means, let's say a can finish a group of people can finish some work in certain number of days, working for 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day. Hours will be given. So whenever hours are given, days are given, and number of people are given, obviously directly think that it is man work related problem. And sometimes wages will be given. So sometimes you will be given you will be earning this much amount per day, all those related type of question. Okay, so with that in mind, why am I giving you this another formula is because when you are comparing two quantities, I'll be using this formula. That means the first part here on my left hand side is first group of people. This is for first group of people, and this one is nothing but for the second group of people. Okay, always remember that. So with that in mind, I'll start with this one. If 10 men can complete 10 men can complete a work in 12 days, 10 men can complete a work in 12 days, working for 8 hours per day. That means we have number of people, we have days, and we have hours. What is asked then? How many days 18 men can complete a full work working for 6 hours per day? That means in this case, our formula was MDH divided by W and R. Oh, R is extra, right? And this R is nothing but there. What is it? I made a mistake here. W is nothing but the amount of work done, okay? Or the work that needs to be done. We call it W. And R here, this represents the wages, how much they are earning, okay? So by the formula, we have this one equal to MDH divided by W and R. Why am I writing this? Because in some question, uh, their wages may not be given. In that case, you can remove that. And next is, in some case, total work may not be given. In that case, you can remove that. So which means what we have? We have only this one. So our reduced formula is this one. Why reduced formula? Because these are the only things given in the question. We have number of men, we have number of days, we have number of hours. We have number of men, we need to find number of days, and we have hours. So I'll start with the first group of people. 10 men can uh, can finish a work in 12 days, working for how many hours? Working for 8 hours, equal to how many men? 18 men. We need to find how many days you will take working for 6 hours per day. So if you look here, this is nothing but this one, this is nothing but this one, this is nothing but this one. Same thing here, this is nothing but this one, and this one. So I'll just find the value of t directly here. There's nothing much to reduce. So 10 into 12 into 8 divided by, if I bring 6, it will go here. If I bring 18, it will go here, which is equal to d. So 6 2s are 12, 2 9s are 18. So what I have, t is nothing but 8 10s are 80 divided by 9. So if it's 80 divided by 9, then how much will it be? I need to make it a mixed fraction. 80 divided by 9. 9 8s are 72, which is 8. So which means 8 days, 8 by 9 days. So this is the answer. Are we clear with this? Any doubts regarding this topic? This type? Yes, no? Yes, okay. We'll try this question, okay? It was an easy question. It was not that hard. If 10% can complete the work in 18 days, 10%, oh, is it the same? No. Yeah, if 10% can complete the work in 18 days, the number of days required to finish the same job by 12 men. Actually, some teacher may teach you different way, okay, of solving this one. But I feel like this is the most easiest one to solve. So you just directly use how much men. We have 10% working for how many days? 18 days. And next is uh, we need for the same job 12% is required, and we also find how many days they will take. So 10 into 18 divided by 12 is equal to D. So which means 3 6 are 18, 3 4s are 12, 2 2s are 4, 2 5s are 10, and 2 3s are 6. So which means T is nothing but 5 3s are 15 days. So the days required is nothing but 15 days. This is the answer. But you may ask me this one question. What excuse me. Sumbo. Why these two are same is because this group of people and this group of people, they are doing the same uh, same work only. This is the work that we are talking about. This group is doing this work and this group is also doing this work. That means the work that they are doing or they are supposed to do are the same thing. That's the reason why we are giving left hand side and right hand side same. Okay, yeah, that's one thing. And I'll do some random questions in a sense like this type of question they used to ask. A and B can complete the work in 15 days, and this respectively start working together after they start working together. Okay, yeah, this is one type. This type we call it one person leaving early. Okay, so here A and B can do a work in 15 days and 10 days respectively. That means A can do it, complete the work in 15 days and B can complete the same work in 10 days. And next part is they started doing the work together. That means they started the work together. But after 2 days, B had to leave and A alone complete the remaining work. So what is asked here? In this question, I'll try to simplify. A can complete the work in 15 days and B can complete the work in 10 days. Both of them, they started working. But after working for 3 days, before completing, okay? After working for 3 days, B had to leave. That means there will be some parts of work remaining, and the remaining work was done by A. Now, you are asked to find the whole work was completed in how many days. That means both of them, they work for 3 days, and the remaining was done by A. So you need to find how many days did A took to finish the remaining work plus this 3 days will give you the answer. I'll solve by logical approach first. After that, I'll try to solve by the other way. Okay, there's no formula for this one. Okay, that's the reason why we need to understand why and how it's working. So A takes 15 days and B takes 10 days. This is A and this is B. If this two, then A is taking this one and B is taking this one. What's the total work? Total work will be nothing but the LCM of 15 and 10. How do we find 15 and 10 LCM is 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. So if you multiply 5 2s are 10, 10 into 3 is 30. That means our LCM here is 30. And I've told you earlier that this is nothing but total work. This is nothing but total work that needs to be done. A is taking 15 days. So which means 15 into how much is this one? 15 into 2 is 30. And next is B 10 into how much is 30? 10 into 3, right? So which simply means 2 is the efficiency of A, which means A is doing 2 pieces of work in a day and B is doing 3 pieces of work in a day. This is what we have. Now the next part is, if both of them works together, if A and B work together, then A is doing 2 pieces of work and B is doing 3 pieces of work. They can do 5 pieces of work in a day. Are we clear with this? Till now, are you guys following? If they work together, they are doing 5 pieces of work. Now, if they work for 3 days, this is for 1 day, okay? 1 day. But for 3 days, it will be how much? 3 days, it will be 5 for 1 day, and another 5 for another day, and another 5 for another day, which means our answer is 15. Or simply you can write 5 into 3, because 1 day they are doing 5, and for 3 days it will be 15. So out of this 30 total, I'll just write remaining work, okay? Remaining work is nothing but, out of this total 30 works to be done from this one. What happened was that in 3 days they finished 15 pieces of work, which is this one. In 3 days, okay? In 3 days you are doing 15 pieces of work. That means out of this 30 they are doing 15, they have done 15 pieces of work. So remaining will be 30 minus 15, which means there is again 15 more works to be done. There's still 15 more works to be done. And I told you earlier that the remaining work, this has to be done by what? B had to leave. That means B after 2 days. Yeah, I made a mistake here, yeah. Let's make this one, where is it? This one 3, okay? 2, okay? Because in our question, it is given as 2 days. I'm so sorry for that. So if it is 2 days, then it will be only this one. So for 2 days, 5 plus 5 is 10. So in a day, in 2 days, they are doing 10 pieces of work. So which means how much is left? In 2 days, they are doing 10 pieces of work. So which means there's still 20 more works to be done. And we know that this 20 more works, the remaining work has to be done by A alone. So now 3 days is done. So 3 days, I'll just keep it in mind. Plus, if this 20 piece of work, it is done by A. So I'll write in words, okay, so that for you to understand later. Time taken by A to complete the remaining the remaining work, okay, which is equal to 20 piece of work divided by A is doing how much piece of work in a day? A is doing 2 piece of work in a day. That means divided by 2. So which means 2 tens are 20, which is 10 days. So now uh, what, time taken by A to complete it, yeah. They work together in 2 days. B had to leave alone. Yeah, we are okay. So if A alone works, then we are getting 10 days. That means A takes 10 days to complete the remaining work. So the whole work. Next is what is asked. The whole work was completed. The whole work was completed in, okay. So A and B, where was it? A and B, they worked for 3 days earlier, plus A alone worked for 10 days more, which means we are getting not 3 days, right? I'm making the same mistake again. Both of them work for how many days? 2 days, right? So which means A and B together, they work for 2 days plus A alone took 10 days to finish the remaining work. So 10 days, which means a total of 12 days was the answer. So which means our answer here is 12 days. I'll explain again. You listen carefully now. A is taking 15 days to finish the work and B is taking 10 days to finish the work. And we are, uh, the question says, they started working, but after 2 days, B had to leave. That means B worked only for 2 days. That to keep in mind. Now, A is taking 15 days, B is taking 10 days. So if one is taking 15 days and 10 days, their LCM is 30, which is nothing but our total work. So now, A 15 into how much is 30? 15 into 2, which means A is doing 2 pieces of work in a day, and 10 times how much is 30? 10 times 3. That means B is doing 3 pieces of work in a day. If A and B works together, in one day, A is doing 2 pieces of work, and in same thing goes for B. In one day, they are doing 5. B is doing 3 pieces of work. Together, they are doing 5 pieces of work in a day. So for in 2 days, first day they have done 5 pieces of work. In second day they have done another 5 pieces of work, which is a total of 10 works is done. That means A and B together in 2 days they have done 10 pieces of work. Then what is the remaining work? Remaining work is nothing but there was a total of 30 works to be done, which is from this one, the upper one here. And from this 30 works, 10 works is done. By whom? A and B working together for 2 days. Now the remaining work is how much? 20 works. And we know that from the question, A alone has to complete the remaining work. So which means this 20 works is being done by A alone. 20 works is being done by A alone. And we know that A is doing 2 pieces of work in a day. 2 pieces of work in a day. So I'm dividing it by 2, which means A will take 10 more days to complete the work. So now our conclusion is this. A and B work for 2 days, and A alone worked for 10 days to complete the work. So which means together it took them 12 days to complete the remaining work. Any doubts here? Are you guys following this method? I'll give you my basic approach as well. Let me check if it's a basic approach. For 2 days, yeah, I'll try to give a basic approach as well. Okay, since you may be more comfortable with basic approach, and you need to know why it works like that. So I'll just directly write the values. Okay, 1 day work of A is nothing but 1 by 15, and 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 10. So I'm just bringing this one directly here. This is the 1 day work. So 1 day work of A and B together is how much? 1 by 15 plus 1 by 10. We are talking about 1 day work of A and B working together. So 15 and 10 LCM is 30, and 15 times 2 and 10 times how much? 10 times 3. So which means I have 5 by 30. This is 1 day work. So if you work for 2 days, that means 2 day work is how much? 2 days work is nothing but, I'll just multiply by 2. 2 into 5 by 30. 2 ones are 2, 2 1 5, 3 5s are 15, which means in 2 days they are doing 1 by 5. And what did I told you at the starting of this session? I told you that this one, we consider total work as one always, just like we did in we haven't done, but just like we used to do in probability. The 100% outcome we assume it as one, right? I'll explain those things when we take those topics. But in probability also, what we do is we assume 100% is 1. Same thing goes for that. If you're going by basic concept or basic formula question, what we do is we assume that 100% is 1. Okay, so that's what I'll use here. So in 2 days, A and B together have done this much work. Now, actually my battery is low. Excuse me. Now, I told you that remaining work, there was a total of 1 piece of work to be done. 1 is total work, okay, like I told you earlier. Minus, how much is done? In 2 days, 1 by 5. So which means, how much, I need to find the LCM. So which means 5 divided by, well, what do we have here? 5 ones are 5 minus 1, which is 4 by 5. This is the remaining work. And we know that this remaining work needs to be done by whom? By A alone. So A alone, let's check. A alone finishes the remaining work in how many days? A alone, there is a total of 4 by 5 work, and that needs to be done by A, and in 1 day A is doing only 1 by 15. 1 by 15. I'll tell you a numerical ability something, okay, before solving that. Batteries. Actually, my earpiece battery is going down, so am I audible? Yes, no. I just took off my earpiece. Now, I'll just tell you one thing here. If you have a fraction in the numerator, okay, let's say you have 2 by 3 divided by 4. When there is a fraction in the numerator, what we do is that we just keep it as it is, 2 by 3 into 4. But if you have a fraction in the denominator, 3 by 4, then in this case what we do is that we write the reciprocal of this one. That means 2 into 4 by 3. You flip that one. That is what we do. Okay, so some may be confused when to flip and why flipping. So that's the case. If there is a fraction in the numerator, then you just write it as it is. But if there's a fraction in the denominator, you need to write the reciprocal of that. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I have a fraction in the denominator and numerator, but numerator I need to keep it as it is only. But denominator, if I have a fraction in the denominator, so I'll have to flip that. That means 15 divided by 1. That's what I'm writing. Now, 5 into how much? 5 into 3. 5 3s are 15. So 4 3s are 12. Did I miss something? 5 3s are 15, and so our answer was what? 12 days, right? So we are getting our answer is, but I'm missing something here. 15 30, and if I reduce this one, it is 1 by 6. 1 by, if I reduce 1 by 6, 1 by 6 into 2 1 by 3. Yep, I made a mistake here. It's 1 by 3. Yes, that's the reason why we're getting it wrong. It's 1 by 3, right? I'm so sorry here. I made a mistake here. It's 1 by 3. So which means all the remaining values will change. But it's okay. Let's try to, since you know how it's working, I'll try to do fast, okay? I should have reduced here, but it's okay. If I reduce here, I'll get my answer is 1 by 3, okay? That's my problem. 3. So if it is 1 by 3, that means remaining work is 1 divided by 1 by 3, which means I have 3 minus 1 by 3, so which means I have 2 by 3 as my answer. Now if I have 2 by 3, then 2 by 3 is nothing but the remaining works that needs to be done, and 2 by 3 is this, so which means what do I have now? I have it as 2 by 3 into 15. So 3 5s are 15, so 2 5s are 10 days. So A alone can complete the remaining work in 10 days, and they have worked for how many days? A and B together had worked for 2 days, so which means a total of 12 days was taken. So that's our answer. I might have confused you a little bit because of my ear. Yeah, any doubts here regarding this one by this approach? Actually, this one we don't need it for exam, okay, this one, but why we need this is because when a question is being twisted, you need to understand what is happening inside the formula. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Don't do in exam by this way. In exam, this is the best way to do. I'll go for another one, okay? We'll try to wrap up as soon as possible. It's been a long day for me, so my throat is not helping me out. A and B working separately can do a piece of work in 10 days and 15 days respectively if they work on alternate from beginning. Okay, this is also one type. I'll try to explain this. It is called alternate days working, okay? A can do a piece of work in 10 days and B can do the same work in 15 days. And if they work on alternate days, beginning with A, that means A is starting the job. So which means I'll just write it in simple words. A can do it in 10 days and B can do it in 15 days. So now what is just like we did earlier, 10 and 15, dual take the LCM is 30, which means 10 times how much is 3 and 15 times how much 2. This is the total work, and this is A and this is B. In a day A is doing 3 pieces of work, in a day B is doing 2 pieces of work. That's what we have done earlier. And if A and B works together, then in a day they will do 2 plus 3, which is 5 pieces of work. Now I'll tell you one thing here. Actually this question is easy, but there will be some question. I'll teach you that one as well if I have question, but even though I don't have, I'll try to explain that. If A and B works together, they are doing 5 pieces of work in a day. So if this 30 B's, I mean total of 30 works to be done if A and B works together. So why am I taking A and B together? It's about alternate days. That means A is starting the job and next followed by B and again A and another B, A and B, A and B until they finish their work. Okay, this is the case. So why am I taking A and B together? I am taking A and B together because I am taking 2 days together. A and B together means 2 days, okay? 2 days each. A and B together, 2 days. And another 2 days. And another 2 days. So when I'm taking A and B together means I'm talking about 2 days, okay? So A and B together in 2 days they are finishing 5 pieces of work. So which means if you are doing 5 pieces of work, then they will take 5, 6. That means 6 days according to this one. But A and B together, which means we are talking about 2 days, right? So 6 I need to multiply it with 2. I won't write days, okay, here because so that it will not confuse you. So 2, I'll multiply it with 2 days, which is equal to 12 days. That's our answer. So our answer is 12. Why 12? Like I told you earlier, I'm just repeating again. I'm taking A and B together, which means I'm talking about the first day, and this is second day, and this is third day, and this is fourth day. and so on. So what I'm taking is I'm taking A and B together here. But what if the question was like this? What if the question was, let's say, this is illogical, but I'll try to bring up. Let's say there was a total of 33 works to be done. Okay, try to understand this. There was a total of 33 works to be done, and A and B together can fit into. Now I'm talking about 2 days. Okay, A and B together they are doing 5 pieces of work. So what I'll do is I'll divide by this one. 33 divided by 5 will give me 5, 6 are 30, and there's a remainder of 3. That means the remainder that I'm having here, this is nothing but the remaining work. Don't worry, I'll give my basic approach as well if you're not following this. This is nothing but the remaining work. That means after working for 2 each till 30 days, uh, till 30 they have worked in pairs. But in order to do this three remaining work, both of them cannot work together because both of them they can do only 5 pieces of work together, not 3 pieces of work. So what happened is that in this case, this is one set, this is another set, this is another set. Then if there was a remaining of uh, 3, then what will happen is that A will do the 3 work. Are you getting that? That means the ends A can do how much, and in order to complete this 3 work, A will take how many days? A will take only 1 day because A is taking only A can do 3 pieces of work in a day. If I cancel this one, that means 1 day. A is taking only 1 day to finish that, which means from from the 12th day from the 12th day I need to add 1 more day because A worked another extra day, right, to finish the remaining work of 3. So that's how it is done. I might have confused you a little bit there, but I don't have to question. That's the reason why. But I'll try to explain the same question from basic approach. Okay, let's see whether you can understand that properly or not. Let me just move this a little bit. Now I'll go by basic approach. Okay, uh, A is doing can finish in 10 days, B can finish in 15 days. So which means 1 day work of A is nothing but 1 by 10, and 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 15. If A and B works together, 1 day work of A and B together is nothing but just the sum of the 1 day work. Till this one we know. Now the LCM is 30, and 10 times 3 and 15 times 2, which means 5 by 30. I'll reduce here. 5 1 to 5 5 6. That means I have 1 by 6. This is their 1 day work. Or let me not use 1 day work here. I'll just use 2 day work. Okay, please don't get confused. Why 2 day here? Because we are talking about alternate days. That means this is day 1 and this is day 2. Remember that. So this is day 1 and this is day 2. Now if both of them are working together, what I mean, in this day 1 and day 2 they are finishing this one, but they from a total of how much? Shall I directly subtract here? I feel like I'm going off track because I'm not used to doing this method, but let's see. They can do a piece of work in a day, so which means remaining 2 days. So how do we find double work? Yeah, so I told you that earlier that mm, total work, I assume it as, we need to assume it as 1, right? And there is a total of so I'll just write days taken, okay? Days taken is equal to, there is a total of 1 work. I told you earlier from the beginning that total work, if not specified, we use 1. So there is 1 work to be done, and in 2 days they are doing this one. That means in 2 days they are doing 1 by 6, which means they will take, we have a fraction in the denominator, which means I need to write it in numerator, which means 1 into 6 by 1, which simply means 6. So I told you earlier, this 6, the answer that we are seeing now is about 2 days, A and B together. So I'll need to multiply this 6 by 2, which means, because uh, we are talking about 2 days each, so I'll get my answer is 12 days. This is what I have. So I'll just repeat again. A is taking 10 days, B is taking 15 days. 1 day work of A is nothing but 1 by 10. 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 15. In this question, we are talking about alternate days. That means first day day 1 A is working, day 2 B is working. So in 2 days, what will happen is that in 2 days they will do 1 by 6 of the work. So there's a total of 1 work to be done, and if this 1 work is being done by done in such a way that is being divided by 2 days work of A and B together, then we are getting it as 6 days. So this 6 is nothing but 2 days work each, right? So that's the reason why I'm multiplying it with 2, and our answer here is 12. Are we clear with this? Any doubts here? We're just left with one more type and I'll wrap up. Now the last is this one. Complete the work respectively before completion of the work. 20 days, 20 days, and 12 days. I'll try to use this one. Let's see how it will turn out. A can do a piece of work in this one, B can do in this one. B worked for 9 days and can A finished. Hey, this is the same question only. I'll leave that for you. That's the same only. What about this? A and B alone can complete the work in 9 days and 18 days respectively. They work together, however, 3 days before the completion. Okay. Yeah. This is, earlier it was about B leaving early. That means earlier the first question was about someone leaving early, but here is about leaving just before the works gets over. Okay, that means, however, 3 days, why is it not working? However, 3 days before the completion, A left. So which means we need to solve it from behind. Okay, this question. Let's start. A alone can finish it in 9 days, and B alone can finish it in 18 days. So 1 day work of A is nothing but 1 by 9, and 1 day work of B is nothing but 1 by 18. So 1 day work of A and B together is how much? A and B together is 1 by 9 plus 1 by 18, which means our yesterday I told you, or the previous class I told you, that if this denominator are multiples of each other, then what we do is that the bigger number will be our LCM. So here the bigger number is 18, so our LCM here is 18. So 9 times how much is 18? 9 times 2, and 18 times how much? 18 times 1, which means 2 plus 1 is 3 divided by 18. So 3 1s are 3, 3 6 are 18. So I have 1 by 6 is my answer for 1 day work of A and B. Okay, that's 1 day work. Now next is, the trick is this part. A left 3 days before the completion of the work. That means A is leaving early. A and B alone, B alone you can work for 9 days and 18 days. That means A can finish a work in 9 days and B can finish the same work in 18 days. So 1 day work of A is nothing but this one. 1 day work of B is nothing but this one. We are talking about A leaving the job before 3 days. That means after A left the job, what will happen is that B will be doing the job. This one, A is living here. A is living at this point. So which means this remaining will be done by B. 3 days work. Okay. So now what I'll do is we have 1 day work of B. So I'll find for 3 days work of B. 3 days work of B is nothing but 3 into 1 by 18, which means 3, 6 are 18. So 3 day works of B is nothing but 1 by 6. Here I'm getting that this is a 3 days work of B. Why B? Because after leaving A, B will be working those 3 days. That's the reason why I'm getting this. Now, therefore, remaining work is how much? There was a total of 1, and from that 1 by 6 is being done by B, will be done by B in the last 3 days. Okay, in the last 3 days. So which means if this is done, that means LCM is 6. That means 6 minus 1. If I subtract this one, I'll get 5 by 6 here. This is the remaining work that needs to be done. That means this time period, total work, remaining work is this one for that time period. That means for this blue time period, the time period that we have here, this time period, this is the work left. And we know that this time period is being done by A and B together. So which means 5 by 6 needs to be done, divided by how much? By A and B together, 1 by 6. So which means we have our answer, it is 5 by 6 into this, we have fraction, so which means it will be 6 by 1. So which means this two will get cancelled each other. We have 5 days. This is not the answer, but why? Because this is from this point till this point is nothing but they are taking 5 days, and from this point till this point, we know that from the question itself they are saying 3 days. So 5 days plus 3 days will give you 8 days. That was the answer.